Hello, today what we're going to do is replace this Sony keyboard and palm rest on a Sony Pro13. As you see here is the new one that I've ordered. You can alternately order and receive a keyboard only, but what you'll have to do if you use this one is micro drill and then epoxy it in. I don't recommend this as it's much more difficult. Then a few comments on the whole process. The keyboard itself and palm rest assembly is the backbone of the PC, so you're going to disassemble the whole PC during this process. It is quite involved, and just be aware of the level of effort involved before you begin. If you've changed the fan in your PC, this effort is much more involved. It will take you about 1.5 to 2 hours. And if possible, it's best to replace or repair individual keys versus this whole keyboard, just for ease. When disassembling, take care of all the small screws and the cables, as they will be needed to reassemble the PC, of course. I suggest you fast forward to the portions of this video that are important and skip the other pieces. After you install the new keyboard and clickpad, note that new drivers will install as the PC sees this as new hardware. So it will take a few minutes to boot up and do that installation. Good luck.
Okay, today we are going to replace the keyboard on this Sony Pro13. As you can see, hopefully you can see here, the E key has come completely undone and is hanging off. I've replaced that key previously, and I straightened up the tongs that hold the key down, but it's kind of given up now, and those tongs are kind of worn out, and some other keys have popped off and I've put them back on. This month, this PC is 3 years old, and I still use it daily, and it gets quite a bit of use. So what I did was go out on the internet and I purchased a new keyboard, and this was actually shipped from Sony originally, and I found a gentleman out there that had run across it, and it's brand new. And you'll note that this is the full palm rest and click pad, so it's everything required, not just the keyboard. Some of these you'll find on the internet, they sell just this keyboard, and although it is possible to do it that way, you'll see that on the edges here it is basically melted in, if you will, with little plastic rivets. They've melted to force the keyboard to stay on the palm rest. So if you buy this piece alone, which is just the keyboard, you will have to drill those, micro drill those, pop each of those little plastic rivets off, put the new keyboard down, and then epoxy it in place. And I decided I did not want to mess with that, so I went ahead and bought this. That piece of the keyboard you can find about $40 on eBay, and this whole piece you can find for about $90. I found a gentleman selling slightly less than that, but basically $90. And I noticed some of those are shipped out of China. I have not tried those. Anyway, if you've seen my video on replacing the fan, a lot of this disassembly is the same. We're going to flip the case over, look on the back, and across the back here are 7 screws. And I've already taken those out. I have taken off the rubber strip, and there are 2 screws on each of the rear feet, and I have removed those. I have removed the feet as well. So it's 2, 2, 7, and then underneath this plate is a single remaining screw, and it takes a Phillips screwdriver, small one. I've also got here with me a pair of tweezers, because undoubtedly I'm going to need that. And I also have a small flat blade, the little Phillips I showed, the pair of tweezers. Later I'll use some glue to put the rubber feet back. And I have a slightly bigger screwdriver that actually came with my Nest. Bought a Nest thermostat the other day, and they give you a screwdriver with it. The Nest is very nice. I can control my heating and cooling from outside my home and set schedules and so forth, and control it with the mobile phone. Also a pair of needle nose pliers. So those are basic items you need for this. And if we need more, I will let you know. So next, we got to reach under and pop this case loose piece by piece. There's detents, and I use my fingers. You may gently use a a flat blade screwdriver. And if you want details on this, again, go look at my fan replacement video, and you will see more about removing this piece of the case. There we go. And we will slide this off to the side. That is actually pretty dusty there. I'll have to be cleaning that before we're done. I put that fan in, I think it's been 18 months ago, and it's been rather quiet, so no complaints about that replacement fan. While I have the case off today, I will take probably a Q-tip and clean some of that just to make sure it's got all the dust out of it. May blow it out with some air as well. So the next step here is we basically have to be able to release the keyboard from the frame, and you essentially have to what looks like pull out the motherboard. I haven't done this before, but that's probably where we're headed. So the next step, I believe I'll take out the battery, and this is the battery. This is the flash. I have a, if you want to see an up-close picture maybe, it's a 256 gig flash, which I believe was the largest that Sony allowed in these. And the RAM in this one is fixed. I got 8 gig. So let's take this out. I believe there's at least 3 screws here. There's one. Two. And put a nice piece of tape here. I guess it holds some sort of a capacitor in place maybe. I'm not sure. But I'm going to take that off. And then I suspect there's a center screw that we can't see right now, but we will uncover it here in a second. Let's see if this will lift out, start to lift out at least. There is magnets there. That's a rather strong magnet. Oh, right here in front of my eyes. Got the 3rd screw. And let's see if it doesn't just pull out. There we go. Okay, that is the Sony battery. And if you want to see closely here, it's a 4,740 milliamp hour, 7.5 volt, 36 watt hours, lithium ion. And we'll place this over. Now you can start to see the back of the click pad. So here and here, same, right? And you'll also start to see the back piece of the keyboard. And it may be playing tricks with my video because you're going to get a reflection off the lighting. Sorry about that.
Okay, I've inserted a picture of the motherboard and screw locations one by one. You'll have to remove the screws for the fan, the flash, the back hinge, each piece where you see the arrow before the motherboard can be removed. This picture is of the cabling, and very similarly, you'll have to very gently disconnect each of these cables in order to remove the motherboard.
This little connector looks like he is battened down here, and he may end up giving me a headache before this is over. Okay, here's a little clip. I don't know why they just didn't have him screwed in there, but they didn't. Okay, and if we can, we're just going to roll this over. I don't know if it's going to let me do that, but if we can, that's what we're going to do. I'd rather do that than have to remove more stuff. Well, there's more dust. And more dust here in the keyboard. Don't need to clean that much, I'm getting rid of it. But, oh, I was wrong. He is the antenna. So let's go ahead and remove this tape. That's what's holding him. Okay, so that's a speaker and that's a speaker. I'm going to again try to flip this over, and then again let's see if this keyboard wants to come with me. There we go. There's the screen of the Sony. There's the broken keyboard with the bad E key. And then we will do a couple things. We need to take this antenna system apparently and put it to the new keyboard. And you can see if you were going to attempt to use the keyboard only versus this palm rest keyboard, you can see these what I'll call plastic rivets. Looks like they just put the plastic through the keyboard and then melted it, and that's how this is assembled all over this keyboard. So sorry for the glare here, but you can see micro drilling those and replacing it would have been quite a chore. Okay, and now okay. So then here's the situation. We have what I guess is two antennae for the wireless receivers, and a black wire is attached to this one. And these look like they're just peel and stick type assemblies, which I will have to repeal and restick when we get to the next box, next keyboard. And this one can already go down immediately. I'm going to line this up so I see where it was, and put this down, and put the copper tape down, and I think our black one is, oh, you know what, there it is. They got a little pogo pin. Aha! Little pogo pins that this goes down on, so undoubtedly that has to go first. So let's put it down this way. Okay, there we go. tucking in wire. Oh, okay, let's start backing up. Putting all this back together the way we came. And flip it up, down under the hinges. Start to turn the motherboard back over. And as we do that, we gotta make sure these wires come through properly. And put this down. Okay. Okay, each time I pull the fan over, and anytime I take the fan off and disconnect from the processor, I want to be sure to put thermal paste back under the heatsink. Because if you don't, you will you may have a problem with the it basically cooling. So there we go. So, we'll just do it direct here. Get it on there. And I put plenty on there so we don't have any issue with the heat transfer to the heat sink from the processor. And I'll put some right on here as well. Get it spread around good. And it'll come squeezing out everywhere, but that's okay. Okay, and then we're going to flip the fan back over and put it on. I have already taken time and cleaned it, so we're set there. And let's see if we can set this down and squeeze it on. Okay. Make sure this little LED light goes right alongside of the power socket. Tend to wander around a little bit. It's loose. I guess maybe under the fan is better. There we go. Okay, let me
Okay, from this point on, I'm going to show just the picture of the motherboard because it's more clear. And once again, note the screws and the screw locations. They have to be reinserted, screwed down, and remember to put the pieces of tape back on top of those screws the same way you got them off. After the screws are in and it's down, connect all of the cables. Be sure and be very gentle with the cables and the connectors. They are quite sensitive and frankly weak. It may be one of your biggest challenges with doing this project. Move slow, examine the connectors closely, even under a magnifying glass if you need, and do the insertions.
okay, I have went ahead and slid the battery back in, and it's just slided in 3 screws. I put back in the flash module, just slide in, 1 screw down, and the remaining thing is minor items. I'm going to put this clip back on, and I have to put a remaining screw in, and I think everything else has come together pretty well. So here we are, it's all together, and soon we're going to test her out. And what I want to do is test it before I put the bottom cover on and spend that time. We'll have to do this very cautiously, But I will lift this up, and we will hold it that way and squeeze the battery, turn it over, and we'll push the button. First good sign is the green light came on, so that's good news. Oh, and it's booting by all. And the next item is press a key, and oh my goodness, so we have a password entry screen, and there we go. It is operating and accepting keystrokes, and the mouse is moving, and ooh, I hear a little fan. I guess I got pressure on it. Okay, well, looks like it's time to go back and put the bottom of the case on. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and power down. All right, we are there. Easy, easy, because the case really helps the backing of this, so be gentle with it when the bottom of the case is off. Flip it over, and just so we don't change things on you, we'll do it this way. And then case goes on. The key item is the holes over here. Need to slip over this side first. Okay, and I'm going to clean this case up a little bit. Okay then, and let's slip this over the end. And I took these connectors and got them loose, so they may have misaligned a little bit, but they should be pretty close. Okay, yep. So key item is the connectors. You got to slide them in. And then we are getting close here. So okay, let's go ahead and put the screws in. Okay, I went ahead and put the case back on, and then off camera I realized I had forgotten to put the little pieces of tape over each of those screws, so I got to take the case back off and put it on again. So I got a lot of practice there. And I did go ahead and flip it over once and verify that the new keyboard's working. Doesn't seem to be any problems. I've put in my Unify Logitech mouse fob, and yeah, this is just wonderful. And I'm almost so used to that broken E giving me a hard time that I've had to be really careful typing, and now it's really fast. So thumbs up, very happy with this. And one more item is time. This on the clock from start to finish was 1.5 hours. So I think, you know, once you see it and you know what you're doing, because I didn't get to find any videos of this before, maybe you can get it inside of an hour. But I would say be careful, go slow, watch where all your parts go. I had a screw that took off on me, and it took me quite a while to find it. And anyway, it's a job you can do yourself, and I got a wonderful new keyboard that I'm going to be very happy with, I think. It looks like new. So enjoy. That's it.